That's brand new Dokken, featuring the most popular lineup of the band. And that's on the forthcoming release, Return to the East.
Yeah.
It's coming out on April 20th.
I'm sure you're very excited.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
All right.
We got the press kit this week.
Yeah.
And I know that they offered us the video and the audio for review.
Yeah.
And I watched the DVD.
Watch the whole thing?
Watched the whole thing.
All right.
And I'm very underwhelmed. I was at the show in South Dakota. Mm-hmm. The first full show. They did a warm-up show on Friday, and then the actual full show was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they video recorded that for this DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 days later they went to Japan.
Right.
And they did 5 shows in Japan.
Sure.
And then they recorded video and audio recorded the footage in Japan, which was cool.
Right.
But I think I'm a little underwhelmed with the way that this thing was edited.
All right.
The performance is what it is. These guys are in their mid-60s.
Sure.
And they're not 25, 28-year-old guys anymore.
No.
I mean, that's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the new song is good, and the video is very cool. I thought it was a very well-done music video.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know as far as the live video goes that they used for this new DVD. They filmed a portion of it in Badlands Pond, in South Dakota, and then they filmed the balance of it in Japan, and then they took footage from the shows that they did record, and they made a live concert DVD where I think they did like 8 or 10 songs from the Badlands Pond, and then they did the balance of them in Japan.
Okay.
And the weird thing about it is, and again, I don't know if they just didn't have enough B-roll, which is footage that is not directed at the band. It's crowd coverage and things. Mm-hmm. Well, from the get-go, they were showing them. Well, first of all, they did the songs out of order.
Right.
So instead of like a concert experience where the maybe the stage is dark and the lights come up and the band comes out on stage, the video starts like 4 songs in, and then they do like 3 or 4 songs in the video, and then they like the 5th song is the first song of them coming out on stage. I mean, it's weird. I mean, and I don't know if the copy that I got is the actual finished product in the the running the lineup.
I'm sure it is.
I don't know, but then the video that they shot at the Badlands Pond in South Dakota, every time they did a audience shot, it was all Japan.
Yeah.
So,
I watched a whole lot less than you. I watched like 10 minutes. I couldn't take it. Now, I was very underwhelmed, and I thought the editing was real bad.
Yeah, I just like... So it's clear that they're at the Badlands Pond because there's big banners in the background saying Badlands Pond and all this and that. Then they scan the audio, and it's in all Asian people. And it's just like, did you guys not have any audience footage from the Badlands Pond, so you had to throw that in? And then and then the other thing that I didn't like is that during a lot of the songs they had this constant loud crowd noise,
bad editing,
going on in the background, like it's just this roar of crowd noise
right
behind, below the songs. And it's just like, you didn't really need to do that. You could have just put like crowd reaction at the beginning or at the end of the song. But you didn't have to have this constant crowd noise throughout the entire songs.
It was to show that they had 50, 60,000 in front of them.
I guess. So I'm not saying you shouldn't buy the DVD if that's what you want, if you want to get it, because, you know, obviously if you're a big Dokken fan and you collect that kind of stuff, I mean, I'm not trying to discourage you from getting it, but from someone who, you know, is pretty close with the band and was actually at one of the shows, I was pretty like, ugh, this is not good.
Well, I'll discourage you. I watched a little bit of it. I listened to it and was like, ooh. I listened to the audio of it and was like, ooh, not feeling this. Not at all. The edits are just, I don't know, the putting in Don's fake vocal, it just doesn't sound right.
The overdubs.
It just doesn't sound. You can tell where the live pieces are from the overdub pieces.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you'll hear him singing in one tone, and then you'll hear him singing in a total different tone.
Yeah. Well,
it just wasn't that good.
Yeah, and there's pieces where he's singing, and it's like a long, drawn-out part of the vocal, but it's matched up with the video where he's clearly looking away from the mic.
He has his mouth closed.
Yeah, and it's just like, who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, I don't know. It turned out to be about what we thought it was.
Yeah, I'm just a little, like I said, underwhelmed with the whole thing. Maybe no, I have not.
All right.
I'll see him on the 20th. I'll see him in 2 weeks.
Oh, is he going to be in Vegas?
Yeah, no, he's going to be here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then you're going to Vegas, what, the next week?
Yeah, the following week, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, he's playing, you know, Dokken is playing here in the Chicago area in Joliet on the 20th, and then the 21st they're in Detroit.
Okay.
So I'll go over and hang out. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I don't know. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. Knowing Don, if you pull it up on your phone, that'll be the first he sees it. Would that shock you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me.
Well, you know what? If you want a nice representation of an older Dokken from, you know, something, and I hate to even say this as being recent because it's not.
Yeah.
But there's a DVD out there called Dokken Live in Japan, and it was filmed in '95.
Right.
So obviously it's 23 years old.
Right.
But this was, I don't think this was meant to be in fact, I know for a fact that it was not meant to be released as a video. They just happened to have the video and they thought, okay, well, we have this video and it's pretty good quality. So Don actually did the video editing and put it out himself, and then he sold it to some outlet.
Right.
But I think you can get it on like Amazon or something.
Okay.
But that's a pretty good representation of the original Dokken lineup after the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was during the Dysfunctional tour, and it was filmed in Japan.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely better. This new one.
You know, it's they did some good camera work with it, but boy, the edits and the overdubs, and I don't know, just not very good.
Yeah, it's been played for the last time in my ears.
Now I know the fans are gonna, you know, some of the fans out there will dig it just because it's Dokken.
Sure,
but I was like, ugh, not feeling this, just like you.
Yeah, if you're not endorsing it, I mean, I knew my thoughts, and I'll be real honest. I was going to keep them to myself because I figured you would come on and you would be much more giving than I am. And I was just going to be like, all right, is what it is. You know, I don't need to comment. But, yeah. As somebody that's a little more casual of a fan, I mean, I like Dokken. I obviously love Dokken's music, but I don't love that. I'll take the John Levin. Give me a John Levin DVD. I'll watch that. That'll be better.
I would agree.
You know, and forget the sound for a minute or the edits or any of that shit. they're so fucking lifeless. Other than Jeff. Jeff is still a psychopath. Jeff's like he's still on speed.
Yeah, he is.
But the rest of them just, it's like, all right, here we are, let's play. You know, they don't love playing with each other.
Yeah, I mean it's clear that there's no energy there as far as like you know, we're a tight unit and we're here to really blow the doors off of this place.
Yeah, it's like, all right, $200,000 for tonight? Fuck yeah, let's do it. It's really what it seems like it came down to. Yeah. And I mean, Don all but said that.
He did.
You know, he said it was a money gig. So, you know, you got a money gig's worth, fans. You hardcores that, if it ain't the original 4, it's shit. Well, got what you asked for. Enjoy. Make sure you buy it. Anybody that claims that needs to make sure that they buy it and watch it constantly, so they can remember. They can remember that they asked for that. They begged for it, and Dokken provided what they asked for. I'll pass.
Yeah. Well, everything was so rushed is in this reunion,
right?
That they really. I mean, if there is any chemistry still there with those 4 guys, it would take time to you know, work together and get into that groove. But 1 week's worth of rehearsing and 1 show prior to, or actually a show and a half, because they did, like I said, they did a preview show on Friday, which they did, I think, 5 songs.
Sure.
Which was actually better than the full length show. But it just wasn't enough time to really make that happen in a good way.
Now, they should have done like 5 to 10 shows together, then gone to Japan. And just had it as a little exclusive 15 dates, but have 5, 6, 7 shows to get a vibe again. You know, because they clearly, it's 4 guys in a room, not Dokken. That's how I took it.
That's true, absolutely.
It wasn't Dokken anymore. It was these 4 guys that used to be Dokken. And I know that probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's how it felt. It doesn't feel like the old band anymore at all.
Well, again, I was there for 3 or 4 days with the guys, and I saw the rehearsals and saw the shows and stuff. And, you know, it just was not enough time to get their feet under them and really do it right.
Right.
And it clearly shows in the interaction and the performances on the stage.
Well, according to George, we'll get more in 2019. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, you never know. Somebody might. I don't know. I have no idea. I literally have zero idea about that.
Yeah. I know this. If they played here, I don't know that I'd go. I really don't know that I would go. To go see the George version versus the Levin version, I would definitely go to the Levin version.
Yeah,
first.
I mean, John brings something to this current touring lineup. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's a precision player, and he does the songs justice. I mean, he does them in the most original fashion, like the record.
Yeah, and it's clear they like each other,
and he's proud to do it. That's the thing, is that John. The funny thing is that I was on the road with Don when John first joined the band back in '94,
right?
And I went on a 3-day run with them. We went from Orange County to Tucson, Arizona, to Phoenix, Arizona, to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
And did 4 shows, and John basically had just joined the band. And every night after the show was over, it was, you think I did okay? Do you think that they liked me? Anything else is there anything about my performance that you would change? Is there something different?
Right.
You know, very, very, very humble guy. And, you know, here it is. He's been in the band 14 years, and he's still like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's still like, hey, what'd you think about this? Or did you dig my solo? He's always like that. But he brings it live.
He does.
I don't give a shit about the whole fucking Levin versus Lynch argument. John Levin brings it every fucking night. Shit, we watched him bring it the one night. He had one fucking arm.
That's true.
When he was at Rock USA.
Yeah, he had some surgery done on his arm, and he was still recovering.
He was recovering to the point that he was dodging people from shaking his hand because he didn't want to. He couldn't reach his hand out to shake your hand, but he got up on that stage and fucking blistered.
Yeah, and that was kind of funny because your friend John.
Yeah.
John Levin says to me, he says, I don't know who that guy is, but man, he kind of manhandled me. He says he really hurt my arm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, imagine this. John was drunk.
What?
So, I know. Imagine that.
He was drinking that Jesse James Dupree liquor.
He drank that horrible whiskey. Like no one else would drink. Well, he happily polished that fifth off. And then was all fucking stupid drunk. But, oof, yeah, that wasn't between that and him crying when he saw Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah,
boy, was that embarrassing.
Yeah, when he was standing up there on the side stage looking at all of Eddie's guitars in the racks.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! There's Eddie's pick.
Look at me! I'm standing like 5 feet from Eddie's guitars.
Yeah, look, I'm standing next to a road case that says Van Halen on it. Cool, man.
That was so funny. that whole day was fun, though.
It was fun.
I mean, it was just fun that we were in that trailer, which was a dressing room, and Jesse James Dupree from Jackyl rolls up on a golf cart,
right?
Like he's some kind of a mailman or something, and he comes into the trailer because he was peddling this whiskey.
Right.
His own brand of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Jack Daniels, similar to that. And he drops it off. He's, I just thought I'd drop off some of my whiskey for you guys, and he was just like going from dressing room to dressing room, dropping off a bottle of his whiskey.
Why don't you boys all come on over here and get a pull? Yeah.
Exactly.
So he's doing, come on, you all can take just one hit. Just take a one-hitter off. Remember him in the one-hitter?
Yeah, the one-hitter.
He must have said that to me 10 fucking times that day. Yeah, just come on over and have a one-hitter with me. Just a one-hitter. Yeah. It's like, Jesus, all right, dude. And I took a one hit off it, and that was more than enough. Oof. That was like drinking paint remover.
Yeah, it was not a tasty whiskey at all.
It tasted bad.
Yeah, I don't drink Jack per se. If I'm with the Dokken boys, I'll have some Jack and Coke, Mm-hmm. But that was not Jack Daniels.
No, that was Jack Me Off fucking garbage whiskey. That shit was bad. That was the kind of shit that I was drinking when I was going through my divorce. Just whatever was the cheapest bottle at the liquor store. That shit was awful.
Yeah, and it smelled bad too.
It was bad.
I mean, it didn't have that nice, mellow whiskey smell that Jack Daniels or even Jim Beam has.
No.
This stuff burned your nostrils.
Looked like shit that you clean your fucking house, your aluminum siding with. It was awful. It was god-awful whiskey. And remember, it had a white label on the bottle?
It had like a generic label on the bottle.
Yeah, it was like a $3 bottle of whiskey from the fucking grocery store. But it wasn't. It was the, Full Throttle. Was that what it was called? Full Throttle?
I can't remember the name of it, but I think it might have been Full Throttle Whiskey or something like that. But it just kind of reminded me of Will Ferrell and the Anchorman. That stings the nostrils.
It was bad. And I remember we were all sitting around having lunch. It was me, you, John, Stephanie, Carlos Cavazzo,
Warren D. Martini,
Don, and Levin, I think. Was there anybody else?
I think Mick was sitting with us, too.
Mick wasn't even at that show. That was
Jimmy DeGrasso. That's right. No, I'm thinking Sean.
Yeah, Sean might have been with us.
Yeah, Sean was with us.
And we're sitting there eating lunch, and in comes Jesse James Dupree into the tent, and he's like, y'all get a taste of my whiskey? Y'all get a taste? And like, yeah, Jess, we did. Everyone was like, yep, we got a taste. We got some. Very good. And when stupid John goes, I didn't get any of that. Let me try that. Fucking Jesse hands him the goddamn, he poured him like a little cup worth, and John's like, that's not bad, boy. That's not bad. And Jesse's like, here, take the bottle. Have it for you. I got another one in the trailer. John takes the bottle. He's wandering around fucking carrying the bottle, just loose carrying the bottle, drinking it straight from the fucking bottle, walking around backstage. What a goof.
Yeah, that was not good stuff.
No, I can't fathom wanting to be drunk enough to drink that. That shit was bad.
Yeah.
There it is, American Outlaw Bourbon.
Yeah, it was not good.
And it should be outlawed. Probably is.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. I wonder, does he still make it?
I don't know.
That shit had to go out of business. There can't be anybody that was drinking that shit.
It was not good.
Yeah,
I'm not a big drinker, but even that to me was just like, wow, that's pretty vile.
Look, I'm an alcoholic that'll drink most anything. You know, I'll drink rubbing alcohol if it's provided to me the right way. And this shit was worse than that. It was fucking bad.
Then later, remember later Steven come over to me and he goes, hey, listen, anybody got anything good to drink around here?
Hey, buddy. Psst.
So he comes over, he puts his arm, he goes, you think you can find me something? I said, yeah, I think we got some of Jesse James whiskey in the trailer. Cool, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't say, hey, anything but that.
He goes, you think you can find me some ice?
Hey, Wendell, don't tell Blotz, but go get me a whiskey.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget the ice.
Yeah, so I found Steven a cup of ice and poured what was left of the Jesse James bourbon in there.
Right. That shit was funny.
That was a good afternoon, though.
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun that night.
But again, after about 4 to 6 songs of Van Halen, I got in my car and left.
Yep.
I was just like, I'm so done here.
Me and Scotty, we watched a little of Van Halen, and by the middle, by like song 8 or so, we were like, fuck this, we're out of here. We're tired of this and don't want to see. Hey, I remember this one. Remember that fucking bullshit from Roth?
Yes.
Every stupid song. I remember this one. Well, then sing the fucking words, you fucking dick. Stop fucking going to oobly boobly bop. Just sing the fucking song. He stinks. That guy is such a jizzbag. What a fucking ass.
I was watching the show with Sean and Juan Crucier.
Yeah.
It was Juan, me, and Sean. We were all kind of standing around watching the Van Halen show. Mm-hmm. And after, like I said, about the 4th or 5th song, I was just like, okay, guys, it was good hanging with you again. And I left. I was just like, oh, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, it was total dog shit.
When Roth was out there wielding that sword,
yep,
that's when I left. I was just like, I can't take this.
Yeah, it was bad. It was just, we watched, and stupid John, all drunk, he was like, this is the best ever. It's like, what are you fucking watching? You obviously inhaled too much of that Jesse James whiskey, pal, because this is just shit. Van Halen was terrible. I mean, the band was good, but Roth was unbearable.
He was.
He was absolutely unwatchable.
He kept doing that whole lounge singer thing.
Yeah. Like scatting words and shit.
Yeah, he thought he was Frank Sinatra or something.
I don't know what he thought, but he sucked. He absolutely ruined what was a full day of awesomeness. It really was. It was a full day of awesomeness.
It was great. It was fun. It was fun watching Dokken. It was fun watching Ratt. It was fun watching Jackyl.
Yeah.
And then Van Halen came out and was just like, what the fuck is going on here?
It really was. We had so much fun, especially all the fucking shenanigans going on backstage. was great. You know, all the shit with the Jackyl bass player wanting us to get high with him.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I don't know about everybody, but I had a ton of fun.
I had a great time.
And I sat for probably an hour and a half. One of my most favorite, I'll call it a rock and roll moment, even though it has almost nothing to do with rock and roll. One of my favorite moments ever with Rockstar guys was hanging backstage talking Sons of Anarchy with fucking Sean.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was like and we just sat there for, had to be 90 minutes just talking about Sons of Anarchy. And it was just awesome hearing all the backstage stories and how hot Maggie Siff is, you know, in real life and shit like that. I was like, oh, this is so good. Just a good day.
Maggie Siff. How come we haven't seen anything of her since Sons is over?
Well, that's because you're not watching hard enough, dude. You need to watch. You're already into season 3 of Billions, and she's awesome on it.
Oh, she's in that.
She's the number 2 on that show. It's that Damian Lewis guy that was in the first couple years of Homeland.
Okay.
And Maggie is the psychiatrist that keeps him in line. But there's some great, she's also, the best part about her is not only is she the psychiatrist, but what's the guy's name that played Pig Virus in
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of his name for the life of me.
Yeah, he was in the movie Sideways.
Yeah, he's been in a ton of movies. He's the district attorney, and he's married to Maggie Siff, so she always has this conflict of interest between her husband and her boss.
Okay.
But in their private, Paul Giamatti, thank you, Red Rain. In their private life, the Maggie Siff and Giamatti, she dominates him. She like dresses all in the dominatrix stuff and whips him and paddles his balls and shit.
All right.
So that show is fucking phenomenal because like they'll be doing all these serious stuff where she's all dressed in some, and I don't know if you like this look or not, but I love when a chick like puts on a tight power dress.
Okay.
Like professional power dress. So a lot of times she'll be in the office in the power dress. Oh, look at her. Jesus Christ. She'll be in the power dress in the scenes with Axe, who's the main guy. And then they'll shoot back to where she's home with Paul Giamatti, and she's just in fucking, barely nothing, barely any clothes in dominatrix gear, just paddling fucking him and burning him with candles and shit. It's fucking awesome.
I have not watched that show, so I don't know anything about that, but okay.
That is one of the best shows on TV, bar none right now. Billions.
All right.
That show rocks. And there's one scene, and I think it was season 1, where she goes to get in this pool, and she just takes all her clothes off and gets in the pool. What a fucking smoking body on that bitch. Oh, my God. Grabbing right for the cock when that happened.
Nice.
Good stuff there, man. Rewind.
Very nice.
Good show, though. Seriously, if people haven't watched that yet, Billions. Fucking awesome.
All right. Fair enough.